guys, welcome to Nemcast episode 5. As you can probably tell, I'm not Courtney, it's Ben from Airsoft. I'm doing a bit of a hijack on this episode. Introduction to the first part of the episode is we're going to be talking about the etiquette of airsoft, what that means when you go to a field, what your experiences are, and what we think as players too.
You.
Okay, so the first part of this episode, essentially, I watched a video. The reason why we're going to be talking about this is I watched a video recently, and I'm sure most of you've probably seen the video of the kid that burnt someone else's patch in the field in the States, gets lasered in the back in spawn, not even in the game, and everyone just turns around and the guy just doesn't care. It's quite a well-known video. It is funny.
He got booted offside.
Yeah, as you can probably imagine. It's funny to watch, but at the same time, if that was you, probably wouldn't be so funny. But yeah, there's a video I watched recently, and for some reason, this all seems to be in the States. I mean, I know we have stories and tales of this, that, and the other on the UK side.
I've seen like people get angry with each other, but I've never seen like fists or fights start.
Yeah, it's quashed quite quickly.
Yeah, or I don't know what it is, but every time you see a fight compilation on YouTube, it's always Americans. It's never Europeans or British people. It's all. You ever seen a Filipino Speedsoft game? Brutal, but they never get to fists. They never like start punching each other. It's always Americans.
Don't know why, but it does seem to be the case. But yeah, we'll link this video so you can actually have a look and see what we're talking about, because it's crazy. It makes the burnt patch video look calm in comparison. It's nuts.
I've not seen it, but I'm sure I will after this video.
Yeah, so again, linking back to that, I mean, I've been playing airsoft now for almost 10 years, and for the most part, the only thing that I've ever experienced from an etiquette part of thing is just a few people not calling hits here and there.
Yeah.
One of them was a site marshal, which was ironic, but other than that, it's not too much. Maybe a bit of swearing, a little bit of overkill, but not too much other than that. And that's kind of what you expect. At the end of the day, you've not got something, it's airsoft, it's an on-sport, it's not laser tag, you've got nothing telling you.
There's a fine line between overkill these days, because you've got all the HPA engines and obviously some DSG builds that can run high rates of fire. But going back to the etiquette, you shouldn't be running lasers everywhere. You should be using
There's a bit of common sense, yeah. I don't think you need to just beam someone from like 10 metres away when they're not even facing you.
That's why
I've always gone single shot, because I don't like overkilling. And with what will happen with later on with Anzio, you're in and out of buildings a lot. So to switch from full auto to single...
I mean, I'll put my hand up.
You know, you're never going to do it all the time, so you might full auto someone by accident. So that's why I always tend to stick to auto. Semi.
Yeah. So I accidentally full autoed on that day. Put my hand up and said, "Look, I'm really sorry, dude. It was only like 2 or 3 shots." And walked myself off. Just being.
You did what? Sorry.
I walked myself off.
No, you took yourself.
Took myself out of the game. Took the hit, even though. Yeah,
no,
that's just being friendly.
Yeah,
that's the number one rule. Be friendly, be nice.
It's much the same as sort of as a retailer and other things in airsoft. You know, you hear people post stories and this, that, and the other. But communication is one thing. If you communicate, look, mate, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's fine. I mean, I've used my Kar 98 for years, which is a very good sniper rifle. It's VSR based, and I've been playing in that kind of style. You know, you can choose your shots. At Anzio a lot when I used to play there, and once you know the site, you get to learn how it plays, where to wait, this, that, and the other, and it does make a huge difference. And I've shot people in the head before that's the only thing I've been able to see, either because I'm shooting out of a little sort of area. They don't have like an A4 rule there, really, or if they do, again, sometimes you can only see a little bit.
When we went there, I don't think they said there was
an I don't think Anzio.
It's pretty much like if you can shoot through it, you can. But like, say there's a crack like that, don't stick your barrel through.
Yes, exactly, because you could end up in someone's face.
That's blind firing.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the only rule is, as you've just said, is make sure you can see your optic, your barrel, and the target through whatever you're looking at. That's essentially the rule.
Basic airsoft rules.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget. I mean, you can remind them, say, look, I know you're in the game and you want to be round this corner, but just remember you are potentially going to injure someone doing that.
Yeah, which is fair enough. And I've hit people in the head before because it's the only thing that I can see. I won't go for headshots when I can see everything else because, well, first and foremost, it's a harder shot. Not that my rifle can't do it and that I can't do it, but I'm not that...
Centre mass is much better.
Yeah, I'm not that bothered to go for a headshot. I just want to hit the player and then just move on to someone else. It's as simple as that. But if in the odd occasion I have hit someone in the head and you can see,
Oh, it's like when someone's poking around a corner.
Exactly. And if you're doing that as a player, you know full well that if you're going to get shot, it's going to be in your face. So
most people are pretty courteous about it. You'll see that they're a bit either stunned or you can tell they've been shot in the head. You will just put on up, so I'm sorry about that.
Yes, and that's it, and that's exactly. So I got hit when I shot this guy in the head. He was just standing literally in the middle of the road, shooting some of my friends, and I was in a little gap where I could just about see his head and nothing else because of where I was on the site. And I got hit, and I could see the guy walking away, and he was putting his hand on his face. Like, he had a smile, and he wasn't upset or anything. But I just said, look, sorry, buddy. It's all I could see. And he went, no worries, man. It's fair play. And it's literally that simple. That's all it needs to be. Sometimes it can be worse in a very rare occasion where I've never seen it in person, but I've seen photos of like where someone's got a BB stuck in the lip or the nose or something else.
Gone under the glasses.
I got shot very up close in the head at one site. Now, I don't care about being... It sucks being shot in the head. But the difference is, the person that does it, if they go... Like, this guy was, like, very close to me. And if he went, oh, sorry about that, mate, because he saw my whole body, and he just went over the barrier, shot me in the head. He could have shot me anywhere, and I had blood all down my face from one hit. I don't care about the FPS of his rifle, because he got tagged, he was all good. It's just a little bit of etiquette of him, after, not during game, after in the safe zone, just say, sorry about that, dude, we okay. Cool, don't mind that. Mm-hmm. But I walked in, and again, my face is covered in blood, and the owner of the site just looked at me and went, oh shit. It's like, but I was pissed off, but I'm not going to seek the guy out and start shit, because...
At the end of the day, he's technically played by the rules. You've been shot. If his gun's within the limit...
Yeah,
you're there to do that.
I didn't want to go, like, because you'll hear stories about people going up to people in the safe zone and starting arguing, you shot me in the face. It's like, no, I was annoyed, not angry.
Yeah, it's really not worth escalating. And that's another thing, really, is...
Yeah, escalation of just...
and that's, again, it's a lot of... I think it's a lot of online talk more than anything else is, oh, I do this to make people feel their hits, I do that. And it's like, when you're on site... that I don't think that actually happens. People like to talk about that, but even the people that talk about that, what you have to realise is, every time you go to a site, which is what you should be told, if there's an issue, speak to a marshal. That's what they're there for.
Marshals pick up on it quite quick. And I've been to a few sites where there'll be a few calls of either not hit taking or overkill or whatever. The marshals will pretty much gather everyone after the game brief, say, look, remember what we've said at the start. We're here to have fun. We're not here to get angry.
It really does. It degrades the whole field of play very quickly if it's not addressed. And you go, right, well, this person's done this to me, so I'm going to be like this now. Very quickly, the sentiment and just the general attitude of how the game is going, it spreads across the whole game very quickly.
It insinuates cheat calling, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you just hear someone from across the site saying,
it's
that, and also it's like, well, I'm being overkilled by this one guy, so I'm going to overkill everyone else on that team, and it's like. And when that happens, it just escalates. I've seen it where it has escalated with BBs being fired, not with punches or arguments, but it's like...
Yeah, like someone will walk off, then turn around and full auto someone in the back. I've seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that happened to me, which... Now, I've just said a story where I was shot in the head up close, and I was blood all down my face. I'm cool with that, because it happens. One thing that really pissed me off, where I did actually nearly find them in the safe zone, but I didn't, was... I got hit during a game, and I'm walking away. I've got my arm up, walking away from where they're playing to the regen point, and I'm wearing a bright Hawaiian shirt. It's summer, and I got shot in the temple, right on the side.
I remember this.
Yeah. So what I did after that was I went back to the I was fuming. I went back to the regen point very calmly, walked back, and then when I got within a certain point of where the game zone was, I flicked my rifle onto full auto, which again I very rarely do, and I just ran in and I shot everything I saw. Everything. And one of the marshals who we were friends with was just stood there like,
wow.
he's really angry. But I didn't overkill. It was like a 3-round burst on each person, and as I was moving down. But that's like the angriest I've got. And
overkill's another one of them like sort of broad areas. If you stood in the middle of nowhere waiting to get like revived or something, and there's people behind you and you're still getting shot.
I've
seen that so many times.
That's the thing, that it has to be taken with nuance from both sides. I mean, again, funnily enough.
Oh, I do have to say this though, and the people that shot me in the head, they were known to be dickheads.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
No, they were.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say what site or what team name was, but they were dickheads. I will say this though. That's why I always shoot ghillies. I don't care if they're on my team. If I see a ghillie, I'm shooting
well,
one.
they were dealt with accordingly.
Show your armbands.
They were dealt with accordingly in the end.
Yeah, they were eventually.
They weren't attending that site anymore. But anyway.
I mean, yeah, there's all sorts of things. Like you said, you've got to take it with a bit of nuance. I mean, if something's happened where someone's misinterpreted a rule and someone gets caught up in it, it's one thing. And if you both communicate, oh, sorry, mate, I didn't realise, or this, that, and the other, that's fine. But it annoys you more when people go out of the way to just, mate, you've just been told 15 minutes ago, we're 10 minutes into the first game, you've just been told at the brief, don't do this, and you're doing it.
Yeah.
Why?
What's it, 50-50, that rule where you both shoot at the same time, you both hit each other. I've never seen, it can cause arguments, but I've never personally seen that be an argument between people, because the players that we tend to go with and the sites we go with run very well, good players. One thing that I do not like and I think should be banned from sites is bang rules.
Yeah, bang rules suck.
I hate that. I'm sorry.
Surrender's fair enough because that gives you the opportunity if you're dumb enough when you have a gun pointed
it's
to
like
your head.
Every time I've seen a place that has a bang rule, they say, right, this is a bang rule. You can, if you don't want to shoot them in the back, you say bang, and then they say, but that person doesn't have to take it. So what's the point of it?
No, that's just a surrender.
I've seen no arguments with 50-50.
I've seen it before
me personally, I've seen no arguments with 50-50, right? But with bang roll, I've seen a lot. Bang roll should just not be a thing.
Yeah. I've had it before with a surrender where someone's offered a surrender and I had my gun pointed at him. So I shot him.
That's different though.
And there was a bit of arguments about that. I said I don't have to take the surrender. But that was in the game rules. That was all.
Yeah, but it's like going up to someone behind him and saying, bang, you're dead. It's like, no, I'm not.
That's what your knife's for.
It's dumb. And the reason why people don't argue a 50-50 rule is because either one person didn't get shot or you can't honestly turn around, look someone in the eye and go, well, actually, my shot hit you first by like 0.1 seconds.
Yeah,
sure.
Because
no one cares.
When I went to a milsim, I came around a corner into a building and the guy shot me, and I just reacted. I was like 1/10 of a second behind him, and I shot, and I just looked at him and went, "No, it's not 50-50. I'm dead. You're still in."
Most people are quite courteous.
That's it. It's
most people are courteous and agreeable with games. It's very rare that you hear about something kicking off or anything. I mean, I've been airsofting since 2007.
Old man.
Fuck you. What happened to you eventually, you perfect hairline? I've been airsofting for about, since 2007, and I've got those 3 stories about bad players.
It's normally the same stuff. It's where people moan about hits when the BBs have literally been dropping at people's feet.
That's quite a common one, and soon enough you see marshals just go, just no.
No, it's like Courtney would say, like, we'll go to a site and we're outranging people, and Courtney said to me once, I think I've spoiled you guys with the upgrades.
Oh yeah, we're spoiled. Big time spoiled with the upgrades that we've had, which it'd be fun to maybe try with some stock guns.
Well, I've thought of it's not devious, but I think it'd be funny if one time, and it's not to do with the rifles. It's like we just turn up to a site and just play as rentals, like rent their rifles, because we've played for years, so we know what we're doing. But it'd just be funny to like just use a site's rentals.
As long as they're good rentals. I've seen some horror shows.
I
wouldn't put anyone through that.
That would be an interesting game because there's a lot of, especially with CQB more so than outdoors. Like, oh, this is overkill. Even if it's not overkill, oh, your gun's overpowered. Like some sites ban certain guns and this, that, and the other. Which I get it. It has the potential to do some damage, so to speak. But at the same time, just because it has the potential doesn't mean the user behind it's going to do it. I don't think banning the platform is the issue. It's like HPA.
Yeah.
Oh, your HPA gun has to be locked at a lower FPS than this AG. There's nothing to back that up.
I couldn't really care about FPS. It's the rate of fire and who it's in the hands of.
Yeah, that's it. It's all to do with the user.
If it's in the hands, and you can tell by a general day of airsoft, you can start it off whatever rate of fire you need. If you can see people, you can know the type. They are P19 with the drum mag and the HPA adapter. Just absolutely lasering everyone. Then you can turn it down, and they have the possibility to. It's not like you can go with an AEG and say, turn it down.
my only issue with HPA is it's just like having to look around an oxygen tank and
but that's just your personal preference.
It's not as bad.
That's it. Apart from that, it's like I've got no problem with HPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own platforms, and it's not like AG builds are any slower than a lot of HPA.
I think I could say most of us run form over function as well.
You've seen my shit. I'm definitely rule of cool.
Yeah, rule of cool.
It's like I've got Full Metal AK. What does it need? It needs all the optics and the torches and the lasers on it because it needs to be front heavy. It's like this thing here. It's like doesn't need a bipod. I'll put a bipod on it because it looks cool. I don't use it. This is probably the most use I've got out of it.
I think that's the only gun I've had that's on a table that's actually got an optic on it, but I've never skirmished it.
And it's a nice classic one as well.
Optics in airsoft, are they useful? I run
and no.
a Vict Optics with a massively good eye relief on it. And it's helpful. It's good for your targets.
They are good, but then again, it's like depends. This is my personal opinion. Like that. It's just a Vision King short dot. I use it mostly to woodlands to just look and see if I can find someone. Because by the time you're in contact, they're close enough to not need the optic.
And they're adjustable. You can turn them down to 1x zoom. If you do need them, they're still there.
Yeah, but I mean optics. I'm more the rule of cool. It looks cool. It's like, hey, put an EOTech on it. Put a aim point on it. It looks cool.
Again, I think it's
but you get an optic.
You don't need one.
Starting airsoft, I think it's absolutely pointless. I mean, when I first started, I bought, as I said last episode, I bought a used Ares Honey Badger. It was missing one of the iron sights on it, so I couldn't use them anyway. And it was just like, right, I'm just going to point and shoot, follow where the BBs go. And then that was it. And I must have done that for a year until I bought like a £15 red dot. Which was useless because I never bothered zeroing it.
I don't bother with red dots as such. On smaller guns like this one, maybe, but red dots you just tend to find the fog up or
I've got an RMR on my Glock.
It's just cooler.
Just because it looks.
I do get it in CQB. If you've actually zeroed your gun to the point where if you depending on where you're aiming,
that's the thing with CQB. You need even less. Because you're basically right. I'm as like close to the camera right now when I'm shooting, so it's like I'm not going to use an optic. It's like woodlands to like find people,
that's
bits like that.
But it's different because with a like a red dot, it's glowing at you, and it's normally obscuring more than you actually see.
This is me going to be like,
I know exactly what you're about to say.
You dirty paw! Just don't buy a shit optic.
Buy a real holographic.
I got that one from Amazon that was an EOTech, and it was like it was like shaded.
The one that's tinted.
It was tinted. It reflected the face back at you. It was awful. It's like if you get an optic, get a what's the name?
You can talk about Holy Warrior optics.
No, he's got
Vortex.
You've got Vector. Vortex.
Yeah.
Expensive, but good, and also they have the lifetime warranty. So if you break it, doesn't matter how you broken it.
I broke it.
Yes, English is my second language. It doesn't matter how you broke it. They'll replace it. So
they do
it's
some good optics as well.
Yeah, they
Kieran's
do
got
some
one in
very
there.
nice optics. They do like I'm gonna say knockoffs of like aim point micros and aim points and short dots.
But people use them on real ARs. The lower spec of optic that you can put on.
They're good for airsoft if you've got the money and they've got the lifetime warranty. Because one thing that's happened to me a lot with optics is I've always had the lens shot out, which is annoying as fuck.
I mean,
because I had this lovely, beautiful, what was it? The
SRS.
SRS.
Yeah.
Big chunky scope, it's massive, lets the light in, you can see everything. And I go into a building and it's like the first time, no, the second time I used it, it got shot out and it cracked. And it's annoying because I figured out this way of like making a sacrificial lens for it. But the night before, when I was going to do it, I forgot to.
And got drunk.
I was going to miss that out because, you know, most of my stories are I'm drunk. But yeah, so that's another thing. I'm going to do a helpful hint for you people today. So with optics, right, you can get the lens shield there, right?
The little flip up.
Are you talking about the Perspex ones,
Yeah,
like the honeycomb ones?
Yeah, the Perspex lens shield there. They look horrible. They do. So what you do is, with things like this, you can get a kill flash, which is the...
They block off too much light, I think.
They do.
It's the honeycomb mesh.
Yeah, it's the
sort of
honeycomb,
bit.
right? So what I do is, I've not got one on here, and I should have brought one in that I've done. You get the lens, the kill flash, and you get a pair of DIY safety goggles, safety glasses. You cut a circle, and then you put it into the kill flash, and then you just screw it on. So your optic's on there, it looks nice, you got a sacrificial lens. So if it does get shot, and it does go through the kill flash, which it does do sometimes, that's what happened to my SRS. I thought this will be enough, it wasn't. It takes out the sacrificial lens. So your optic's good, and you could just pop it out and replace it with another one. The most expensive thing you're going to spend on is probably the Dremel to cut it.
Yeah, I did a very similar thing with my Car 98, which has a real ZF39 on it.
Oh yeah, you want to protect that.
Which is about 500 quid worth of scope. Yeah, which is funny considering it has no windage adjustment and it's fixed at 5 times zoom, my specific one. Well, it's cool. It's got like the cool T-post sight. It's cool, but yeah, as far as performance goes, it's just
I watched I watched Fury last night. And having held your Car 98, with the scope on, the most realistic thing in that video is the sniper at the end, because that scope reticle is actually spot on.
It's exactly the same. My rifle scope on it's fantastic, and the first time I used it, I wanted to protect it. Now, obviously, you know, it's 90 odd years old, so the technology is a bit different, and the glass on the front is really thick and it's not scratched. The optic is crystal clear, and the eye relief is fantastic. But obviously, I don't want to get it shot out because, you know, no one's going to offer a warranty on that. So all I did,
just ring them up.
kind of similar to what you did, is instead of having like a kill flash, I literally just, funnily enough, that all the scopes were, well, that scope's 40mm. So just go on Fleabay or something, find a Perspex disc, 3mm thick, 40mm circle.
I'm sure, like, because, well, we've got a couple of printers now. You don't even need the kill flash. We can just do it.
Well, that's it. At the time, I made something.
I just remembered I had this, because that's just a rifle. I mean, it's not going to fit on that one because it's too small. That's just a rifle cap, but
it's got the insert.
That's exactly what I've got. Just a little disc, but instead of having something functional like that,
over there,
I'll put a photo in. I literally had the disc inside the scope at the front, and then just black gaffer tape over the front of a scope that's 90 years old.
As long as it works. One thing at Nemtac that I've been saying is, if it works, it works.
Yeah. That's it. And airsoft is, as I've discovered still now after, like I said, almost been playing for 10 years, is you always realise at some point, oh shit, I don't have something that I probably should. How can I make some DIY version of this that's going to work? I still think that happens to a lot of people. And ultimately, if it works, if it saves you money, if it makes something easier, just do it. No one's going to come up to you and say, oh, it's a bit stupid that. Who cares? It literally doesn't matter.
No, okay.
Just realised I've been playing airsoft for 17 years.
Great.
What was your first gun, Greg?
Oh, it was a M4 S system.
Nice.
You know the one, the M4 off Modern Warfare 2?
Oh.
That rail system. I think the one that Granthum's like currently obsessed with. Awful gun, but I loved
Come on,
it.
we all love a Modern Warfare 2 gun.
Oh, no.
No,
No, I mean, it was like, it was Double Eagle. I don't think that brand exists anymore.
I think it does. They make some
They
shotguns,
do.
don't they?
Do
Was
they?
that Golden
Yeah.
Eagle?
No. It was something Eagle.
Either way.
It was, oh god, it was, and there was like, then I went on to D-Boys G36Cs and...
I used to
stuff
like
like
the G36s, but it got ruined by rentals with batteries taped to them. God damn it.
I like a G36.
But it's the same one.
I want to do like the early 2000s bad guy look. So it's like
A lot of people are put off by the
UMPs
UMPs.
and
I like the
G36s.
UMPs because I've not had it ruined by the rental sites that run UMPs.
How many times do you
I'm
actually
surprised
seen a
I've
UMP though?
I never see them.
Exactly.
Even like back in the day when I was playing.
I want to get a UMP and some purple DPM and come out like I'm chasing Angelina Jolie like in African Sahara. If anyone's watched Tomb Raider 2.
So that was your first gun. What was your first gun?
Mine was the Ares Amoeba Honey Badger, and that must have lasted. In fairness, it didn't actually break, so my perception of Ares for many years, contrary to what most people now have, is, God, this gun's awesome. I never cleaned it. I never serviced it. I stuck an 11.1 lipo in it without doing anything. With the 3-round burst, so
yes.
trigger contacts, I don't care, because it had this little funky built-in MOSFET thing that Ares sold you. This program was actually really
Best
rare
in
to
the
get.
business.
It's like this program is like 60 quid, and you plug it into your MOSFET, and it allows you to reprogram your 3-round burst into full auto.
Didn't it go up to like 16 round bursts or something? Because I had a Honey Badger. You could do it like
16 round burst?
16.
Well, all I remember on
Something like that.
Very
All I
weird
remember
number.
on
It's
this-
like, let's choose 16.
this MOSFET
Just off the
thing.
top of my head.
So by default, it was safe, semi, 3-round burst. You buy this MOSFET for like this little adapter thing for like
It was
this
just a
controller.
plastic box.
It was literally a green plastic box for like 60 quid, and it allowed you to change it from safe, 3-round burst, full auto. That was it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I eventually sourced one. Didn't work. Nice, nailed that. And then yeah, spammed the trigger contacts for a year and a half on an 11.1 volt lipo, which I bought was too big. Didn't bother checking the size of the battery compartment, so
tape it on the back.
I literally took the stock off and shoved an 11.1 in and just taped over it,
Yes.
and then just left it. Yeah, so that got abused for a year and a half, and I thought it was fantastic.
I
It didn't
abused
break.
mine. It was great.
What
And then
was your first airsoft rifle then?
I had a Simon M14, which
Oh.
was running fantastic. And then Courtney had it. It did a few bits, and now it's with Mitch. Shout out to Mitch.
So that pretty much sums up part one. There's a lot of other things we've talked about there. So a little bit of the etiquette in airsoft, optics, and kind of experience with
General
them.
attachments.
Yeah.
Cool of cool.
Exactly. So
Lasers are cool but pointless.
Yes. As is tradition.
that sums up part one. So stay tuned for part two up
The
next.
boys go to Anzio. Now it was me, Greg, Courtney, a couple of other Nemtac boys, and we met with Tropic Thunder Airsoft.
Yes.
They're a good bunch of lads. We had a great day. We'll delve into that in the next part.
Hey guys, welcome back to Nemcast episode 5 part 2. I'm joined now by Courtney himself, and this part we're going to be talking about experiences at Anzio camp.
Yeah, a bit of a site review.
Yes.
So we're going from, so you haven't been for a few years now, have you?
No, I've not been for many years. I used to sort of Anzio, well, the first outdoor game I ever played actually was at Anzio, which was an experience. That was many years ago. It's before, obviously, if you guys have been to Anzio, I don't know from what time frame, because I can't remember how many years ago this happened, but the rubbish has been at Anzio camp now for a number of years, all the big bales that you see.
Yeah, they got fly tipped.
Yeah, there was
I'm not quite sure on the sort of deep lore of what happened.
we can save that for another point, but there's a lot to be said about that. But I went to Anzio quite a few times before that ever happened, and I went for a couple of years sort of after that. And Anzio camp, when I used to go, and I'm sure a few of you will remember that time, the foliage was all really cut down. So where the main car park is, you have the field to the right of that. That was literally just grass, and then one of the D buildings, I think it's D4, that's
Yeah, I
in the
mean,
back corner?
I used to go years ago before, obviously, the bales, and remember when there was roofs. But anyway, yeah, I used to go then, and used to sort of come out of what is now the safe zone into what is the parade ground. I believe that's what it was. And if you sort of turned left, there used to be a car park in that wooded area on the left.
Yeah.
That's just now a muddy field, unless I'm mistaken. But it's overgrown compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I saw over the years of me going to Anzio. The bales obviously changed the dynamic of the site completely because it blocked entrances to and from buildings, which is a interesting way to dump rubbish, let's just say. But that's something else to go on. Anyway, but yeah, it used to be a completely different experience, even if you just look at how the site played, because of foliage popping up here and there. I mean, it goes without saying, with foliage you can't shoot through it. With airsoft, the sight lines change, and it really changes how people move around the site and how they play. Choke points, this, that and the other. But yeah, when I first went to Anzio, the experience was good. The player count was massive. I think in its peak when I used to go, there'd be like 200 players.
Jesus, really?
200 players one weekend.
We still hit decent numbers, but I don't know
To be fair, when Anzio was
200's a
back
lot
in the
for
day.
that
So,
site.
for context, when I first started playing airsoft, when I was sort of
a young lad,
a young youth, I must have been about 17, 18.
Did you have hair?
When I was, I had hair. Before I was smooth in the brain.
Your daily smoothing.
So,
The thing is, you go on about like this, and that was like, what, 5 years ago?
no, it was. So, bear in
I
mind,
just said I've been airsofting for like 17 years.
Well, you're an old fuck.
I know.
But anyway, I was just old enough to drive, so 17, 18. And I first started sort of venturing out to Anzio, other airsoft sites. And it was a wicked site. You could get a really full site. And there was still plenty of room. It didn't feel like a really cramped, busy day.
It didn't.
They used to do the safety brief in what is now the parade ground. And it didn't feel horrifically overfilled. But now, I'd say they're down to about half that as far as capacity is concerned.
No,
Yeah,
it's still a good day.
It's still a very full day
For
every
context,
time.
we went 2 weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah, so Greg, Harry and I went sort of the other weekend. Fantastic day.
Yeah.
However, the player base has had to shrink back a bit just because of capacity, I think.
The usage of the rooms, a lot of them have collapsed.
Yeah,
a lot of the buildings tend to be
come down.
There was still a good
How
number
much
though. It
of
was
it-
still a good day of airsoft with the numbers. It wasn't like
It helped that we basically committed
there
half
was
the
like
team.
what 70, 80 players there.
Oh, at least.
It
There was all us lot, and then as we said before, we went and met the Tropic Thunder lads out there.
Yeah, big shout out to the Tropic Thunder
Yeah,
boys
they-
if you
they
do
were
get time to watch
very
this.
friendly.
Nice chaps, really good.
Good laugh.
lads.
The thing about Anzio is, capacity aside as well, is because there's that much variation there in terms of buildings, hills, like little wooded areas, this, that and the other. Sometimes with outdoor sites and woodland sites, you find that it's almost all the same. It's just trees, forest, a couple of buildings.
Trees.
Yeah, and the experience is more or less the same wherever you are on site. But the thing with Anzio is, it's not. Like, no matter what kind of gun you have, whether it's a shotgun or you're just using a DMR or a sniper rifle or a machine gun, if you know the site, first and foremost, there is some kind of play, depending on the game, that you can do that you will enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to go around there with a gas shotgun.
When we used to Ranger stuff, didn't we? I mean, I used my RPD for half a day, and I know it's like no full auto in the buildings, but you can full auto out. And a lot of the defense games, it was really good to just shoot out a window into the.
Can you full auto out?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can full auto out of windows.
Yeah, only if you can see someone, they have to be within a
5
certain
meters
distance away,
yeah.
5 meters from
Yeah.
the window.
No,
You
obviously
can't
you'll have to check on the website before you. If you want to go yourself and you're looking at the thing thinking
Also,
this sounds
just-
like an interesting site, just check on the website.
I'm just going to say this: don't take an LMG to a CQB side because it's going to lead to confusion. Harry's one of those people. I've been to the jail. Another guy had an LMG. It's just keep it simple. Yeah.
Just take
I
it easy.
had other guns, and I just I don't get much use out of my LMGs, and you can use them in that site because there's places to use them.
Yeah.
I was going to use a different gun, but that was deemed too hot by Anzio's rules. It was a 310 on a 2.5.
That is something I want to get onto with Anzio. Now, I really like the site. I've been going there on and off for years, just because of distance travelled, really. Their FPS rules are quite possibly the more Japanese.
They're unscientific.
Yeah, no, can't run that.
I had no problems, by the way.
The most recent time we went, we had zero problems with Chrono except for Harry. Now,
I got a different gun, so I won't bother.
Yeah, you had many guns. Now, if you're an airsofter who's built, especially a tech, keep this in mind. If you're teching for a chap who plays at Anzio as their local, make sure you tune their gun below UK FPS limit. So I'm not talking sort of 370, is it, for an AG in the UK?
I think absolute legal limit.
But
for
so
most,
let's put it this way, most sites run 350, so is it 1.1?
Well, the actual
joules?
legal limit is 370 FPS.
Yeah. Now, they're what we call big boy rules, but 350 is sort of
350 is the standard.
Yeah, it's like the agreed upon.
limit.
It's the agreed upon general. So as a tech, someone comes to me and saying, I want a fully upgraded AEG, you tend to aim for about 345 FPS. At Anzio, I'd argue you may run into some trouble at that, so I tend to aim for about a 330 mark if you're building a gun for someone who plays there regular. That is my only qualm with Anzio.
Yeah. I mean, from the last time we went, it's become a bit more, not laxed, but more towards the general standard.
More relaxed would be the correct word.
Common sense.
I was asked if I was doing a review when I was there. There's a bit of footage I'll probably chuck up in between conversations of me just sort of having a wander around. Here we are at Anzio for a game day. So I'm with some of the lads, it's Harry and Kieran. So let's have a little look around the site. Toilet area, chrono area. Inside area is quite big, plenty of room for parking. Shop area. Main sign-in shed. And the indoor car park. Excellent facilities. Coming out from the big shed, we now approach the other side of the car park, which is the outdoor area. As you can see, my big yellow van, the boys. We'll go up here and we'll have a little look. So we're at the big yellow van and the outdoor car park area. Again, plenty of space. And then just out past here, we've got the play zone just past that green netting. So it's about lunchtime. So far, so good. Halfway through the day, no major complaints. Now, the new sort of head marshal for the day, I can't remember his name. I don't really formally introduced myself.
Man with the big.
It was the guy in the sort of World War II Soviet gear. Lovely
Fantastic.
chap. If you're running the site now, top-notch work, well done.
Yes.
Much better than the previous.
Last time I went, I was asked to pretend to throw a grenade like I was a 3-year-old.
I was going to ask.
That ruined my day straight away.
I was going to ask Corny, how do you throw a tremor?
Now, for those who aren't aware, there's the tremor grenade, which is a big, heavy lump of steel. You twist. It's got either a 2.2 or a 9mm, or if you're lucky enough, you can have the 12 gauge ones. Some sites don't allow them, obviously. And you throw it and it goes bang. It's a reusable grenade. They're quite heavy. Normal courtesy is underarm throw. Yeah. We're all aware. Now, most sites would just say, right, who's got a tremor? Stick your hands up. You lot, underarm throws only if I catch you doing overarm.
Yeah, watch the shins.
Yeah, you're out of the game, whatever. Just a bit of a basic disciplinary. Now, a couple of months before this most recent visit, I'm not going to name and shame or anything like that. I don't see the point. I'm not interested in drama. This is purely a point of criticism and almost a bit of praise, really, because you've improved on the safety briefs. We were kept back after the safety brief, the people with tremors and reusable grenades, and made to underarm throw, like a toddler, in front of the head marshal, a reusable grenade. Not detonate it as such, but just use it. People. And I thought that's the most condescending thing I've ever seen, and it was well overboard. A bit of a power trip, in my humble opinion.
But that's the crucial time when you need to be magging up, making sure you got all your stuff ready for the first game. I was late for the first game.
No, Anzio's...
Harry, that's because you never load your mags before games.
But I normally have time.
You charge your batteries an hour before we're going to sleep.
Simple. Batteries are batteries, simple as. Now, Anzio's safety briefs, how did you find them back in the day? Because they're renowned for dragging on.
Yeah, that's probably my experience as well. About half an hour of a safety brief, which is a little excessive. It did cover all points in fairness, but I think it could have been condensed in some ways or another. Obviously, how to do that, I don't know if people at the time were just very slow at speaking. It literally could have just been one thing. That sometimes people talk over. I don't like that in general. That's quite annoying, especially if you're someone that hasn't been to the site before, because
you get the in-jokes.
It's that, but what a lot of people do as a marshal, and it's kind of helpful. I don't know if Anzio or any other sites do this. They sort of tell you a little bit about what's where in the site. So it's all well and good explaining the rules and going, right, this game is these people are going to start here, these people are going to start there, and then you follow everyone else to the spawn point, and you're like, where's the objective? So there was, from my experience, always a bit of that Anzio, which was helpful because it is quite a big site in comparison to a lot of other ones. But yeah, some rules are just a bit going into too much detail, this, that, and the other, and I think it could have been.
Yeah, they could trim.
They definitely streamlined that last time we went there.
Yeah, they could still do with trimming a little bit of fat.
Yeah, I think the main the first safety brief was 15-20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the briefs after and gathering everyone.
Yeah,
and then
it's like everyone's together. And
it's a stop-start.
And the other thing is as well, and this is a little nitpick of me with safety briefs, and it's not the person doing the safety brief, it's everyone listening. Shut the fuck up!
Yes.
Just,
don't be that
no
guy.
one fucking cares about your inside joke between your little group of friends. We all have them, but when a guy's doing a safety brief, I want to go out and fucking play.
It's one of those, if it's basic etiquette. If you're listening to the site safety brief or the game brief, whatever, no one cares about your in-joke. Just get the brief done so
it's polite to the other people, and it shows the marshals that you're listening.
You're paying for a full day, so
like,
that's your money spent over the course of a day.
Yeah, you got enough time. You got enough time in the safe zone in between the games to dick about, even in the game. I mean, I will fuck about with me mates during the game because I've got 10 seconds before you go through that door and you can act like a dick up until that point. But when it's the safety brief, that is for everyone to be safe. So listen, especially if it's a site you've never been to before.
And if that marshal sees you dicking around in the safety brief, he's going to have an eye on you all day, thinking that guy does not know the rules.
You're distracting all the other players as well.
Doing.
Yeah.
I had a
the
great
day
day.
itself, how was the marshalling?
Marshalling was good.
Very fair.
Yeah.
There wasn't too much interference. They were just sort of, you could tell they were about.
If you needed them.
I saw like no cheat calling, no one like not taking the writs. Marshals were about doing the jobs very well. Good. Not talking about the chrono because we've gone on for that for about 15 fucking minutes. But the site, how it's run, is a vast improvement over the last time we were there.
Yeah.
Because last time we were there.
How long ago was that?
Oh,
about a
year ago. Only a year, but it's vastly improved. And it's pretty much the same marshals as well. I don't know what's
changed.
I don't know what's happened.
Great. There was it was.
But
it kept it fair.
It's vastly improved
because there were so many of us. We got team balance throughout the day.
There was about 80 players.
There must have been.
I think 60 players roundabout. So what happened was there was us lot. And there's quite a few of us, and we met up with the Tropic Thunder guys because we've got to know them through Courtney. Friends of friends, and Courtney's done a couple of rifles for them. I think he went to, was it the jail?
Yeah, I went to the jail.
Went to the jail with them. Yeah. So we're pretty much just like a team of, I think it was 25.
Yeah, it was a good size team.
After the first game, they decided to have 3 teams instead of the traditional 2. So it's us and the Tropic Thunder guys versus everyone at the end, the other 2 teams. And the first game that they did was we had to defend the embassy, and everyone else was attacking us. And I tell you what, I have never had more fun at an airsoft gunfight for ages, because I love it when it's just 3 teams and everyone's playing fair and being good.
Yeah,
and
it's a good fight.
It was a good day.
The embassy defence or the pub defence was one of my favourite games at Anzio. Or
the pub is a shadow of its former self, unfortunately, from what you probably remember.
Well, can I just quickly say one of the funniest things was our friend Elliot heard someone in the room next to us, and he didn't realise it was 2 of the Tropic Thunder guys, and he threw a flashbang in there. He took out two or three of them.
Yeah, communication is key.
Yeah.
Colour calling is key. So, what colour
They were wearing Hawaiians.
Yeah, it's not difficult.
I mean, come on, man.
You can't see through walls. Anyway, so the marshalling was great. The gameplay overall was great.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing is, obviously, the site's run down a little bit. It's very muddy. When we went, it was very muddy.
It's a hard one for them.
It's a difficult one because you can't control it.
I don't criticise the mud because it's been raining all the way through February. It's just fucking shit.
It's definitely a case of, if you go in and it's been raining, more advice. That's why I brought it up.
Take spare clothes.
Or a bin bag to chuck on your car seat.
No, stay muddy, stay dirty.
Yes.
Greg doesn't have his own car, so he would say that.
I'm not allowed. No, but it's one of those. It was muddy because it'd been raining for like 2 months straight.
Yeah, there was a lot of people walking around where you saw the arms go up to balance, and they were trying not to slip over. It was quite amusing.
Tom stacked it. He was very muddy.
I nearly did the splits and like ripped my crotch. Going just a little incline.
Almost ruined his pants again.
What's the foliage situation like? Because that's changed.
Oh, it's thick.
We didn't play up because it was so muddy. We didn't go up to the highest bit where it's like I don't know if it's like an ammo bunker.
So you've got sort of like two rows of main.
Yeah, we stayed mostly with the main D buildings.
Where the D building is. Yeah.
And it was just in and out of that.
In fairness to them, the land is up for sale, so they don't. It's hard one spending money on a site that actually potentially. I can understand from that standpoint.
Oh, definitely.
It's like, the roofs are run down. It's like, it happens everywhere.
I'm guessing that happened when the hay bales, well, not the hay bales, the rubbish bales went in position. I'm guessing a lot of the lead.
It's just going to be. We've had a lot of torrential. I mean, look at last year. There was stuff flying off everywhere.
Oh god, it's like again. It's like been raining for 2 months. It's like it's muddy, it's wet, but it's a good. It was a good day.
Either way, it's mostly still there. We didn't use much of the upstairs, probably because it was raining and stairs don't really mix.
Let's cut a long story short. If you're going to Anzio, and it's been raining, take mud gear. So a spare change of shoes
which
for when you
is
get the car.
Everywhere you go.
Within reason, if you play indoors, it doesn't matter, does it?
Well, yeah, but how many indoor sites you know about now?
Actually.
So, spare change of like trousers at least.
Yeah, spare change.
Maybe some wet weather gear, because obviously the roofs are a little leaky to say the least. So wet weather gear is a must there.
If you're scared of water and a bit of mud, then I'm sorry, you're in the wrong game.
Yeah, definitely, agreed. So to round off, generally speaking, would you attend Anzio again?
Yes,
is mostly
definitely. Now that it's been upped a bit,
I would just like to find out one thing, and this is just a personal thing. Do they allow tag tag launchers?
No, they won't allow tags.
Just tag hand grenades.
Most sites don't allow tags.
Maybe tag hand grenades.
They're fun.
I doubt they'd allow tag hand grenades.
Yeah,
You'll be able to see on the website.
Either way, I had a great day, much better than last time. I even told the head marshals, like, "Look, this is a lot better. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe address the FPS."
It's definitely if you've not been to Anzio yet and you tend to travel around for airsoft sites, it's one of those what I'd call like a bucket list site where you've got to tick it off. It's worth a trip. It's definitely an unusual site. I'd recommend going if you can during the summer when it's nice and dry, so you're not covered in mud. Just so you can explore the site a bit more.
Yeah,
because when it's muddy, you can't get to the top half of the site.
And everything else.
I feel like doing a Matt Berry now. Fair weather airsoft there.
It's not just that.
It's more so you can get them full experience, really.
It's how people play as well. I've played in Anzio in the snow before. And it's just people sat inside.
I love playing in the snow.
No one's come to my building yet.
I love playing in the snow though, because it's just everyone else is just like, oh, I'm going to hunker down. And I'm running around like a fucking mental bastard.
Well, you are a mental bastard.
No,
anyway,
I'm not.
Rental bastard.
So it's definitely more than if you're going to make a special trip to Anzio from wherever you're coming from.
I would go again.
Yes,
definitely come.
And Anzio, you're heading in the right direction. You're not quite there yet, but you're getting better.
Yeah, definitely. The marshalling's massively improved. The head marshal, spot on. Can't complain. The safe zone's great. Toilet facilities are good. I can't really complain.
The other guys overnight camped.
Yeah, but there's also I nearly forgot there was overnight camping facility. There's a good shop.
Very good shop. If you, it's like Sell everything from Snickers to MGL.
Yeah,
Yes.
they've got plenty of stuff, so it's whatever you need.
Bring a packed lunch. Don't expect HPA refills.
Now, question: if we go, would you be coming with us?
I
Is
do
that
want-
something you'd be intrigued to go
Yes, I do want to go to the next one. To be honest, the reason it stopped me last time is just having guns that are viable after
Yeah.
after the debacle last time. I just need to get my guns tuned and things like that. But once I've got all that done, then I'm down for some Anzio games for sure. It's like I said, it's been probably about 3-4 years since I've last been, so
again?
not
So,
quite sure.
the least I can say is Nemtacs subscribers, we highly recommend the site. If you get a chance, go. It's up there with sort of skirmish airsoft in Mansfield. It's well worth a trip.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do yourself a favour and try it out. That's all we're going to say for
Also,
that.
just quickly, No Man's Land. That's a good site as well. It's
Yes, we'll cover that some point
No, what
this
I mean
year.
is
We'll
like
try and
it's not. I really like No Man's Land. It's not quite there yet, but they are getting very close.
Yes, we'll definitely be doing a review on that in the next.
That is a good run site.
We'll try and do a review on No Man's Land in the next few months, I think.
Yeah.
So right, that's it for part 2. We'll round it off with part 3 very soon, and that'll be discussing what's going on in the next episode. Cheers, chaps. Hey guys, welcome to part 3, and in this part we're just going to be discussing what's going on in the next episode. Now obviously the past couple of episodes, every time I tell you what's going on in the next episode, it doesn't actually happen because people can't turn up, and we're still getting a bearing as to where we are with the podcast. But hopefully, all being well, in the next episode we'll be doing the sort of airsoft sort of and mental health type thing and how it can help people and generally what it can do to sort of get people out the shit if you're feeling down. But we'll be covering that in the next one. It's going to be a bit more of a somber episode, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. But we'll try and keep it mixed up. So the one after that, we'll try and make it a bit more unhinged as per usual with him. So yeah. Anyway, chaps, that's it for today's episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, chaps.
Thank you very much.